As you've noticed, this is a re-upload, however, with some changes. I listen to all of you, my subscribers, our community, and even the morons who Darwin seems to be taking a sweet time with. But I listen. Anywho, as such, it has been brought to my attention that the girls that I've used to illustrate my point might not be happy with me using their likeness. Well, goths don't like you using our subculture to peddle your prawns, so I guess that leaves us both sad little pandas. But one of us has to take the moral high ground, and as such, I've re-uploaded with the images blurred to protect the identity of the girls who posted their photos publicly in the first place because they wanted you to know their identity. I don't know. One of us has to be the better person, right? So the very video, this one, got cherry-picked to death, and although those with their cheeks ablaze with the butt hurt that accompanies the phrase, doth do protest too much, aka they feel called out, they claim that they watched the whole video, but the analytics don't lie. In an 8-minute long video, an average of 4.5 minutes were actually consumed. Watching half a film of nearly any genre will turn that film into a horror and you into a bad candidate for writing up a review about that film. So, I want your attention now. Listen up before watching. This video is aimed at those outside the goth subculture, exploiting it as a costume for profit and hashtagging things as goth that are not and misrepresenting us. It is also aimed at creepy men who treat goths as if we're here for their personal gratification and have no self-respect and treat us as such. And that's not okay. And when a teenager is approached by a man thrice her age thinking that she's into the very thing that this very widespread misconception dictates, having an opinion about it is not gatekeeping. It's keeping ourselves and our community safe. Many feel that this video places all of the blame on the women, and that could not be further from the truth. The problem does not lie at their feet. However, they are perpetuating a problem, and the goth subculture has a right to be upset to have their image impinged upon. If an individual hires what was historically referred to as a lady of the night, they know that the fantasy is not real. If anyone outside the subculture sees these things online without context, they'll target these specific people because they believe that this is who they are and that they'll reciprocate. This is the only part of goth that they interact with, so this is their only reference point. It's believable without any other reference point. There's a big difference between selling the concept, I like this and I'm a goth, not I like this because I'm a goth. It's the difference between community contribution and self-serving exploitation. Understand that when you falsely present yourself as part of a group, anything that you say or do, anything, you're speaking for that group, and while you get to take the costume off when all is said and done, where does that leave actual goths after the seed's been planted? The outpouring of personal experiences that I saw in the comments from my original video from women, young girls, men, boys, they've all been on the receiving end, and not only was it an eye-opening experience, but it was scary. To all of you, I ask that you please leave your comments again because your voice and your experiences deserve to be heard. I don't care what people do, so long as it's above board and it doesn't hurt other people. In this case, goths are being hurt. We're being negatively affected. No, zero self-respecting goth would dare refer to themselves as a quote-unquote goth thought or goth insert derogatory slur here. Did you know that that term thought actually stands for that hoe over there? I only recently learned that today. Literally today, that's when I learned that. I always wondered where that term came from. Those outside the subculture who use the derogatory terms on their social media for personal gain, they respect themselves, but they don't respect us. And that shows in the way that they portray goths while acting in persona for social media consumption, far and wide and equally to the vile way that men think that it's in any way okay to treat us. Watch this video responsibly. Thanks for listening. If 5 minutes into Bauhaus and Chill, she gives you this look, she doesn't know who Bauhaus is. She's not a goth. She's an e-girl, or a goth thought, or one of those girls who likes to use the term goth just to get traffic over to their OnlyFans. But more on those in a minute. Goth thoughts are the bane of every legit goth girl's existence because of the image that they've created on social media, courtesy of them hashtagging goth as if their lives depend on it. This has resulted in their existence becoming synonymous with actual goth girls, which they're not, thus turning us into a fetish. Every non-goth guy out there that is bored with the basic and looking for something with an edge, they find themselves on Instagram on these profiles of girls who portray themselves as vampire sex dolls, down for every kink that can possibly be kinked, and they never say no. Pretty much every legit goth girl out there has been approached by these guys, and unfortunately, it's not always online, as we are no stranger to the in real life approach. And let me tell you from firsthand experience, it is never the polite hello, how are you approach, because they just jump right into the uncensored as if you have just answered a 1-900 line. If being propositioned in such an aggressively vulgar manner isn't jarring enough when you're just out there trying to buy laundry detergent, or you're just trying to pay your car insurance and a notification of a DM pops up across your screen, that's not even the most disturbing part. No! The most disturbing part is their reaction to you rejecting their advances. The response? Shock. They are shook to the absolute core that a goth girl would have the audacity to actually reject their request for a corset-clad yucky session. I cannot tell you how many times I've had this exchange. I love goth girls. Give me your deets so I can blank you in the blank while you blank my expletive and you're wearing those freaky boots of yours. How about no? What do you mean no? You're a goth girl. Mm-hmm. You're a fake goth. Bitch, you ain't even real. Goth girls are into all that kinky shit, and they're straight up nymphomaniacs. What? Thank you, Jim Bro and faded ripped jeans. Before you came along with your 47 Nissan pics, your whey powder protein, and your SoundCloud, I was 26 years deep into living a lie. Here I thought that listening to, loving, and supporting the music within my subculture, as well as making contributions and supporting those making contributions, was actually being a goth, but I was wrong. As it turns out, I was supposed to be wearing pentagram tops with scully nipples and fishnets and garters and PVC cheesy-ass boots while being the village bicycle to everyone and anyone with an Elvira fetish. Oh, I've been living a lie! This is a two-party fault system. First being the guys that think it's completely okay to approach a girl like that in the first place. And secondly, the girls, the ones who misrepresent themselves and create this Morticia wanna bang bang stereotype that put us in these dangerous situations in the first place. I did a quick skim on Instagram and just grabbed the first 4 people I saw. I just wanted to give you an example of exactly what I'm talking about. All you have to do is search goth girl on Instagram, and a massive portion of the first to show are those spreading the misconception. I looked into all of them, and none of them are actual goths. 2 are simply alternative, 1 is a straight up normie, and all 3 images seen here are posted publicly, intended for distribution to promote their explicit paid for content, but again, blurred to protect their identity. You would think that they'd omit the term goth to protect ours, but alas, that's not the world we live in. First up, it's a butt. It's literally just a butt. In fact, that's the theme of most of this Instagram, but check out the hashtags. Lots of goth slurs, that's about it. Next, it's a close-up of a girl making that I've got a popcorn kernel skin stuck at the back of my throat that for some sick reason all of these girls seem to adopt when peddling their goth prawn. Are they trying to look like they're gagging? I don't get it. Again, all tags misappropriate goth. Lastly, this is the one that upset me the most. It features a girl being choked by a man with a description riddled with tons of goth hashtags imparting the message that we like abuse. Walk right up and choke us. This is what we're here for. No, it's not. If you use the hashtag goth or goth girl on Instagram, then you will appear right alongside these, along with all the others that misappropriate for the same reason, and that is how the subculture gets roped into the stereotype. If this is who you are and this is how you want to portray yourself, by all means, go forth, do you, be yourself. However, the second you start misrepresenting yourself as one of us, we have a problem. Back to the OnlyFans thing that I promised to touch on in the beginning. I happen to believe that sex work is legitimate work. People have a right to make a living for themselves, and they are providing a service. I have no problems with an actual goth making a living in this way if they so desire. What I do not support nor approve of, which tends to be the case 99.9% of the time, is some normie chick pretending to be goth for their OnlyFans, selling goth as a fetish. Whatever they say, whatever they do, whoever they do, however they do it, doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it attaches itself unfairly to us. And these girls are absolutely everywhere. They're even in PG safe spaces. You can find them on Instagram, you can find them on Twitter, you can find them on Facebook, and you can even find them in goth-related subreddits when they get brave and decide that they want to post their goth outfits when in actuality you look and they're either butt-ass naked or in some Leg Avenue prepackaged costume promoting their OnlyFans. This isn't a small problem where it's just a few people here and there that might have this misconception. No. On Reddit alone, there are 2 subreddits, Goth Sluts and Goth Thoughts, I believe it's called, that have over 100,000 followers. A real goth can spot a fake goth a mile away, and it's not like we're running around objectifying ourselves, each other, and looking at ourselves as a fetish. We're not out here going like, oh my, I love all of this! However, to anyone on the outside, they see a girl calling themselves a goth and then selling themselves as a kinky nymphomaniac that never says no. There you go. Stereotype created. If you think adults are the only ones affected, you are wrong. We're talking girls 14, 15, 16, 17. They have to go to school with these reputations and these nicknames that they did not ask for nor earn. They're put in situations where they're made to feel incredibly uncomfortable. Why? Because they want to be part of the subculture. They want to listen to the music. And you have these opportunistic fakes out there using the whole goth girlfriend experience to sell pictures of their vulva. Good job. Try to educate anyone outside the scene, and suddenly they become either an expert in goth because Lil Peep and his SoundCloud crowd decided that goth thought is a thing. SoundCloud rap is still not goth, by the way, people. Or you get the ever-infuriating, it's not that deep. No, bitch, it doesn't matter to you. See, some people require some level of emotional depth, or, in your case, something to negatively impact you enough for it to even matter. Instead of sounding like an absolute brain-dead potato, why don't you give the ancient art of relating a try? So are these punani posers going to stop hashtagging goth anytime soon? Doubtful, as they're fully aware of the negative impact they're having on the actual subculture and have yet to show a single molecule of hope that they actually give a crap. The best we can do is try to educate those outside the subculture about what goth truly is, and that there is a difference between us and them. Particularly the fact that one is part of a music-based subculture, the other is a made-up idea that is no way associated or affiliated with actual goths. Women exist. Some women are strippers, some women are surgeons. That does not mean that all women are strippers and surgeons. Take me, for example. Ask me to pole dance or remove your appendix. I guarantee you I will fail spectacularly at both. The goth girlfriend experience? That's what's fake. The goth girl who's rejecting you right now, that is a very fed up and grossed out girl whose boundaries you just completely crossed because you can't tell the difference.